Back when I did my video on creatures, I explained that there were some types of games that I call Walmart dumpster games. Ridiculously obscure games that your parents probably found in a dumpster at Walmart. But I was wrong about creatures. That was no dumpster game. This is.
Today's hidden game is Gubble, released in 1996 by Actual Entertainment. Gubble is a game about a small purple alien named Gubble, and it is an ugly game. A very, very ugly game, which involves tools, spaceships, worms, and I don't really know what else to say.
Gubble is about as weird as it gets. It's hard to say what it's actually supposed to be, but instead of reviewing it, I'm just gonna show it to you.
As the game begins, we see Gubble running around in his little jetpack vehicle thing. We also see a screwdriver and a hammer. After getting past the title screen, we end up in this place called Renegar. No comment. It seems like we're in a world map of sorts, each residing level having a very similar name to the world. Renigarb? Renegard? Renigara? Okay, first of all, these level intros are goddamn terrifying. It almost feels like the game's taking you into hell. Just listen to the music. Whoa, no! Well now, here's the gameplay. There's really not much to say about it. Gubble is what I like to call an obsessive-compulsive game, implying that you must be obsessive-compulsive to complete it. Basically, the world is entirely isometric, and Gubble moves in a very restrained 4 directions. I suppose you'd call it a maze game or something. It's actually quite similar to Pac-Man, in a way. The goal of the game is to, I guess, unscrew all the screws. There are numerous different tools that Gubble can use, including a sledgehammer, a saw, a drill, a hammer, and whatever that thing is. Enemies will try to kill you, so you have to keep quick on your feet. Some of them can fly, some of them can shoot missiles, and some of them just walk around. There's actually quite a bit of strategy involved. Just like Pac-Man has to swallow all the yellow dots, Gubble has to run around and unscrew the bolts. And whenever Gubble finishes a level, he'll giggle like an evil demon. It's like the scariest thing I've ever heard in my life. In fact, Gubble makes a lot of weird sounds. Half the time, I can't tell if he's speaking English or just slurring out gibberish nonsense.
This is like damaging my brain.
Anyway, let's move on to the next level, shall we? Well, that's certainly some cheerful music. How exactly do I beat this level? There's nowhere else to go. All the bolts are over there, and there's too many enemies to get across. What do I do? Oh, Gubble can float! Gubble can float! Now, obviously, this game is serious business, as you can clearly tell by the music. In fact, if I had to say one good thing about this game, I'd say the music is pretty awesome. It's surprisingly the music that makes the game so memorable for me. It was a pretty odd game to grow up with, and I don't think I ever would have cared to push through it to reach the end without all these wildly encouraging beats pulsing through my head. By the way, this game is freaking hard. Am I accidentally playing it on nightmare difficulty or something? I really don't remember it being so hard. The whole thing just demands supernatural reflexes. Reflexes I don't have. And boy, is it long. More maps, more maps, more maps. Every time you think you're about to reach the end of the game, more maps. Oh, and you know what I don't get? These hideous backgrounds. Everything looks like it was designed by a college student for their first year tech project. Even Gubble looks pretty terrible for a main character. In fact, sometimes he looks kinda scary. Gubble will haunt your dreams. The art direction is probably the worst thing about Gubble. I don't think the game has any real flaws outside of looking ugly, but boy does it look ugly. Some of these levels just give me a headache. Look at this one. It looks like a Technicolor Pachyderm vomited all over my screen.
At least it's not Bubsy 3D. Looks better than that.
Anyway, after getting through a pretty big handful of world maps, Falsigar, Plumaxia, Tropiso, Rocco, Bora, we eventually reach the end of the game, where we face off with this stupid-looking mini-boss? No comment. And after navigating through some of the hardest levels on Earth, someone kill me! Gubble flies away in a massive spaceship and finds his way back home, where he lives happily ever after. God, they all look ugly.
So, is Gubble basement worthy? Well.
While it is a stupid, otherwise crappy game, Gubble's actually not that bad. It's certainly nothing special, but for what it's going for, I can't say it's doing anything wrong. It's just a simple little puzzle game. Nothing more. And maybe it's just because I grew up with it, but I've played Gubble a billion times. I think the concept could have been a lot stronger if it were presented better, with good art direction, but that's the only fault. It's addicting enough as a puzzle game to be worth a good $1.99 on iTunes. And for an iPhone game, well, that works. You see, games like this really don't age at all, because they're just so simple. Pretty much anyone can grasp and enjoy them, and Gubble does a pretty good job of keeping itself addicting and challenging.